I think I will just see about the logistics. Perfect. Thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody in the Bitkom organization for inviting us today and enabling us to tell our story. I will talk about, scaling. And it's an interesting concept because we are a 3-year-old company, but often associated with scale and success in the InsurTech field. So let me take you through our journey. And what I will do is I'll tell you a little bit about the story of Slice, where we are today, or how we started, where we are today, a little bit of where we're going, but what have we learned along the way? This is a great forum of bringing incumbents together, InsurTechs together, and we've had a fun journey, but I think as we know, we're still in the early stages of this journey. So thank you for having us. So a little bit about who is Slice. So Slice is I'll say a global InsurTech enterprise providing digital on-demand insurance for an on-demand world from the cloud down. So that is a mouthful, and you might notice that one of the words that's not used in this is startup. So sometimes we juggle about using are we an InsurTech? Are we a startup? We heard yesterday about when companies go from startups to being real companies, software companies, but that's all part of growing. But what we do is we have a very specific focus of providing on-demand insurance for the on-demand economy. So let me tell you a little bit about the beginning and where and how this started. So after being in the industry for approximately 26 years on average, the founders of Slice recognized in October 2015, so we were founded October 1, 2015, that there was a lot of new risks emerging in the insurance industry. New risks such as the gig economy. So the gig economy has 168 million workers across the US and Europe, as an example. Emerging risks like cyber. And there was a gap in how these people were served. So if you're a gig worker, you're too small to buy a commercial policy, you're not fully a person, you're a business entity when you tap a button, so where do you go for insurance? And then there was also the whole digital ecosystems that were emerging. So we realized that our focus was going to be to basically service new economy, new risks, but only in a digital way. So what we didn't want to do is what we have done for all of our career is really to take the existing way of doing things and maybe adding on a layer of technology. We believe that if we were going to do anything, that we had to have the full digital experience, similar to an experience that you have with Spotify or with Netflix or with Apple, as far as engagement. So the question and the hypothesis that we asked ourselves was, what if insurance could be turned on and off like a light? And that was a big what if. And then we looked at how would it apply to insurance, what types of products would this apply to, and essentially that's the problem that we started to solve with our insurance cloud services platform. And then so we went to market with basically some initial products. So the initial product that we went to market with was our home share product. So Airbnb hosts, or actually hosts from any platform, can buy insurance just for the duration of a stay while they're operating as a business. Also, Uber and Lyft drivers can essentially buy insurance. The temporary ones, not the full-time taxis, can buy insurance when they decide to do gig. And then we went out. We went to market with that value proposition. We got funded, and then it happened. So what happened? The InsurTech tsunami happened. So we have a startup. We have a startup that basically is there pretty much before there was InsurTech conferences and so forth, but the tsunami arrived. And if we look at just some of the very interesting data that we were faced with as a startup, since 2012 to now, we've had, this is according to Willis Towers Watson, you have essentially over 1,000 deals that have been done. The traction continues to grow. The investments are continuing, right? So we continue to track on a generally upward, an upward swing. Where now we have over $10 billion that have been invested in InsurTechs over the last few years. I remember I've been in the industry 26 years in the technology side for most of my career, and I remember when it was very difficult to raise any money in technology. So insurance wasn't cool, insurance wasn't drawing the young people, and we certainly didn't have the enthusiasm that we had that we heard this morning from Julian about, saying this is the best industry in the world and, we're going to be the biggest insurance company in the world. You did not have this enthusiasm about insurance. If you wanted to stop a conversation at a cocktail party, you told someone you worked in insurance, and then everybody went away. But now, insurance is cool, and insurance is drawing a lot of talent and a lot of startups, but it results in a very busy landscape. So we've all seen these types of diagram. Anyone that's in the InsurTech space has seen these diagrams. We have anywhere from 1,300 to 1,800 startups, all divided and broken down into, let's say, maybe some legitimate and sometimes artificial categories. So for example, and it's very difficult to manage. So as a startup, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you navigate this busy landscape? And how do you spend your time? And I'll tell you a little bit of some of the things that we focused on. So what do? The first thing that you do is you get to work. And surely enough has been written. So you've got your own experience that you bring to the table. We had grown 3 other companies before, but certainly there's lots of publications, there's lots of books out there, there's lots of tricks. You attend conferences like this, you network, you join ecosystems, you really get to work. But and it's all about that journey to scale. And then we think that the very specific focus and remaining focused is the most important part. So how do you get to scale quickly? So our story has been, we had this idea around on-demand insurance for the on-demand economy. And we believe that there was a big need in the market and the billions of dollars of opportunity for that. And then we went and we wanted to test that opportunity out with our minimum viable product. So our minimum viable product was essentially us going to market on our own. So we are US based. We got licensed in all 50 states as a broker. We got a broker's license. We were backed by Munich Re through Great Lakes Insurance. And then we took our product to market. And we were there in the field with the first people that were buying the slice policy that was home share. And then it's really about, getting to product market fit and experimenting and learning from the people. So we were very involved, very hands-on. And then when we get to product market fit, which is, as the point where your customers cannot do without your product, you're loved and delighted by your customer, we go to scale. And then our look at scale was really, we had 2 options. And we've seen through the landscape of these InsurTechs that, you can go B2C, you can go B to B to C, or you can try to challenge and take on the market. So we took a specific approach, an approach of partnership, but at the end of the day, you really have to sit back and look at, okay, how will I scale in this business? So the option that we did is we chose partnerships. So in January 2018, which was really our view of, okay, we're going to go for it, we decided to license our platform, Insurance Cloud Services, and we licensed that to insurers globally. Some of them became investors in Slice. Some of them are purely customers where we have some strong relationships. But basically, using this partnership model, and we've heard a lot about partnerships and ecosystems today, we have basically now taken this, and it has enabled us to have a global footprint. So as a result of our investors and some of the products that we've deployed, we now have a footprint around the globe because we are live in the US with multiple products. We are live in Canada. We are live in the UK. We're doing some projects in Southeast Asia. But that whole place of going from a small InsurTech selling home share in the state of Iowa and then all of the US into a global company, has come with some pains and then some difficulties. So what I'd like to basically shift to is to wrap up is really what are the takeaways that we have learned along this journey? And there's some of them. So one of them is the first one, and they might seem simple, but it's really about, I think it's important to remember the simple things, and it is often the simple things that are the difference between success and failure. So the first one is choose your strategy. And employ the right people or bring the right people on board for the strategy. So some people have wondered about Slice. Did you pivot? You know, you were selling insurance. There's a Slice app in the market. Now you license your technology to insurers. And for us, if you look at the DNA of the founders of the company, they've always been technology people. They have licensed technology. They've partnered with insurers. That is our DNA. That is who we are. And then as a result, we've picked that strategy, and everything that we have done has been to enable us to basically launch on that strategy. But it doesn't matter what it is. I applaud those that are going after the market directly in a B2C model and challenging essentially the incumbents. I think there's been some great success stories there. But from our side, it was really the strategy of partnering and licensing technology to insurers. The next one is obviously build your moat, right? So what is going to be your unique selling point? What is going to be your approach? And essentially defend that to the greatest that you can. One of the things that we know at Slice is we have a lot of experience dealing with large insurers, global insurers, and we believe that is our secret sauce. We know how to partner with insurers, we know how to deploy technology for insurers, and then we know how to grow together with insurers. And one of the things we've learned along the way is that is a long, complex process. The third one was really align with your investors. So it's interesting where all of the funds have come in. We have corporates, we have VCs that have come in, and we also see a lot of people that do not understand the insurance industry. So a lot of this capital that's come into InsurTech, some of it has come in from people that do not understand the industry. And growing companies, it's been interesting to watch people enter the insurance space in terms of understanding the dynamics, in terms of understanding where the business is at, and in terms of understanding how decisions are made. At the end of the day, insurers are people that are in the business of managing risks, and a startup is a risky value proposition. So it's important for us, has been important to choose investors that understand the business and really mix the capital from VCs to insurer venture funds to purely insurers that understand where the market is going. The next one is listen to the market. So it's been a very dynamic market. It's been very dynamic in the last 4 years, as many of you know, and really watch where things are going. So when we first, a lot has changed from when we first started in 2015. We still have this vision that insurance is going to change. Insurance is essentially going to be sold as part of a bigger transaction. In the image here, I'm showing onboard insurance, and I'm glad we've heard of a few use cases here related to that. But essentially, listen to the market because it is evolving so fast, and the product that you might have thought of at the beginning might not be the product that you're selling today. That happened to us in the sense of cyber. So cyber is one of the fastest growing risks in the industry. A few people came to us, and one customer in particular, so we have a global partnership with AXA XL, they came to us and they said, we would like you to do cyber. And at the end of the day, at the beginning, we said, well, does that fit within our mold? Does that fit with what we do? We don't think we do cyber unless you want to do it this way. And then, but we worked with them, and then we listened, and now one of our most successful business lines and opportunity in the market has been our cyber offering. So listening to the market is quite key. And the next one, this is the one where we have a lot of scars, is be patient because it's insurance. We often talk about, in insurance, the sales cycles of technology, can be 18 to 24 months. Babies are born and start to walk before you sign a contract. And I think that's one of the key lessons. So InsurTechs and young entrepreneurs that are coming into the insurance business, just watch for that. Be patient because the insurance industry takes a long time to make decisions. One of the things that I'm very encouraged about in the last few years has been really the addition of innovation teams, innovation hubs that essentially cut through some of this. But at the end of the day, it's very important to be patient when it comes to insurance. And I've got about a minute and a half left. I'm almost done. The next lesson on scaling and growing is that it will hurt. Okay, so when you go through the process of a few founders that are basically running around the country, going to conferences, have big ideas, make decisions on Slack, and then sign deals and so forth, that's one thing. But then when you have 70 people or so in the business, you know, and then the definition of scaling is trying to do multiple different things at once, it hurts. And then it hurts because you have to hire new skills. We now have, you know, a finance team, we have an HR team. I was glad when I was listening last night from the CEO of AllianzX talking about a travel policy. We still don't have a travel policy, so maybe that still defines us as a startup. But the process hurts, but you have to go through those steps in order to scale. And finally, what I'll say is despite all of these things, the key thing has been go for it. So for us at Slice, we have not looked back. It's been a very energetic 3.5 years. But the key thing that we've decided is let's learn from all of these things. Let's do these 7 things and then go for it. And through our partners, through our investors, we're now ready to make bold statements and take on the world with our platform and with on-demand insurance for an on-demand world. So on that note, and I think just in time, I'd like to say thank you. I'll be here for the rest of the day. I can be reached at philip@slice.is, and I you know, invite anyone to ask any questions out in the common area. Thank you.